and that the diversity, equity, and school climate department that's over it, they made recommendations to the board to terminate the Promise program. Now, I didn't see that. I saw the snippet of it, and I got some phone calls and some text messages where people were like, well, "What's going on? Why are they trying to get rid of Promise?" So I, in turn, sent a message asking the director of that department to find out what the deal is. So she came to our diversity committee meeting, which was our general meeting last week, and she kind of broke down as to what they were doing. She told us what Promise was when it in its inception back in 2014, I believe. Then she talked about how it evolved over time, and then after the Stoneman Douglas shooting, how it completely changed into something that was not what is in the beginning. So in the beginning, it was an intervention program. Now it is considered a pre-arrest diversion. So we started off with intervention, then we've migrated now to pre-arrest. I want to use the correct wording because I don't like throwing words out there and then I'm not using the right wording. Pre-arrest diversion. Let me make sure I'm saying it right. It was considered a intervention program. And as of this year, 2022 and 2023 school year, the program is now identified as a school-based pre-arrest diversion program. And because it's labeled that way and based off also on statute, it mandates documentation into the juvenile justice system. And the reason why I'm highlighting the mandate of the juvenile justice system is because once a child is entered into the Promise program or is Promise eligible, they are automatically given a civil citation. A civil citation is an alternative to arrest, and Sandra can back me up if she knows the law. Alternative to arrest for youth 8 to 17 years of age who commit certain first-time misdemeanor offenses. It's under Florida Statute 98.12. It gives law enforcement authorization to issue the youth a civil citation in lieu of arrest. Now, what Miss Washington is her name. She's the director of diversity, equity, and student climate or school climate. She stated that if a child makes an offense that is considered a misdemeanor or Promise eligible, it's taken to the police first, whatever police, if it's BSO for that school or whatever the case is. Those officers then make a decision on if it's something they want to really kind of pursue, or they were like, nah, the school has to handle that. Majority of the time, they don't want to touch it. Be like, no, y'all handled it. So once that happens, now that the district takes the responsibility, they push the kid through the program, but they now have to give out the civil citations. According to Ms. Washington, in 2021. They've issued out 1,300 and over 1,300 civil citations.
So I have a question though. Does the civil citation that the school issues, how does that relate to what they do with the discipline matrix? Because there's also a discipline matrix that they have that right. Certain conduct based on that matrix, they're supposed to respond in a particular way. So how is it that the civil citation correlate or work with the discipline matrix, or are those two separate things?
They are two separate things. However, if the offense is Promise eligible and the child is deemed to go into Promise, they automatically get a civil citation. It's not about.
And it falls out of the discipline matrix. Like they don't follow whatever the protocol is in the discipline matrix.
They still follow what the protocol of the discipline matrix is, but that is in addition to.
Oh, okay.
So her stance, Ms. Washington's stance, is that the district is in the business of education, not in the business of law enforcement. Mm-hmm. So her the goal for her is to do away with promise. That way they take out the civil citation aspect of it. And in its place, because that's one of the questions we asked at our meeting. I said, well, you're taking something away, but you're not putting anything in its place. So there is a program, well, not a program. The district has something called AES, which is Alternative to Expulsion and Suspension. And what she's saying is that how they've already created a foundation for this, so they can use the foundational program and processes that they have for promise, enhance AES, but then remove the part where they have to issue the civil citation and leave that up to law enforcement. So my question was, how is that different from what we've been doing prior to promise being implemented, right? Because when promise was implemented, Broward County led the state in misdemeanor arrests of children. So
I'm sorry, I was looking for something.
That's okay. So her stance is we take away the element of civil citation. We enhance AES. We use the same kind of programming and programs that we use for promise, and we make it more robust, because she said that she's also her office is also working on some grant writing or grants to put more money to some of the programs they have now, and to bring in more, I guess, staff and resources. But my concern, and what I said at the meeting when I did my report, was, number one, promise was alleviated and really kind of brought down Broward to a space where they weren't leading the state. I think now Broward is now number 58, because we have 67 counties. So we were number 1 back in 2013. Now we're number 58. And this was solely based on the promise program. The second thing is that this elevation of the AES, we don't know how that's going to look, what the mechanisms are on that, and if that would be beneficial or even I don't know, have the same kind of robust goal as promise. We don't know that. And then the third thing is, have we thought this through prior to making this request to remove? The board will have to hear about it again in June. I would like listeners to be able to go to that meeting and voice their opinions about promise. What I did mention to the board members was, like, I know that this is coming to you in June. I hope that you are all versed in the promise program, understand what it is, and make sure when you're making a decision that you do what's best in the best interest of the students. Now, civil citations, I'm not really familiar with. I'm not sure how much of a detriment it is to kids if they have it. I know that Ms. Washington tried to explain to me, it's like when you're getting a ticket for jaywalking or something like that. I don't know what the magnitude of that is. I don't know what that looks like. I did hear some grumbling that, some people still get affected with civil citations. There's certain things that they can't apply for. I don't know how true that is, and I probably should have gotten that information, but this is where we're at.